Albert Einstein once said, "Wisdom is not the product of schooling, but of the lifelong attempt to acquire it." But how do you acquire it? The purpose of this speech is to actuate my audience to find out for themselves how they learn. According to the National Institute of Health, 65% of people are visual learners, 30% are auditory, and only 5% are true kinesthetic learners. I am credited to give this speech because I have taken tests to know what type of learner I am and actively use that information in my daily life. The problem directly affecting my audience is not understanding how they best learn. An action that my audience could take is to find a free online test to find out what type of learner they are. If my audience takes the time to learn how they as individuals learn, they will see an improvement in their grades and retainment of information and other materials. Without further ado, let's get started. The problem directly affecting my audience is not understanding how they best learn. Numerous students don't even know how to study. Oftentimes, students will sit in a classroom, possibly with other students that are what you would call naturally intelligent, meaning that they do not have to study as much as other students. More times than not, this leads to students who are not naturally intelligent feeling like there's no point in even trying to know how to study. And this is an issue with comparison. Many students struggle with completing even the most basic of assignments. According to the Yale News, a national survey found that, quote, nearly 75% of students' self-reported feelings about high school were negative. In the same study, scientists related, quote, it was higher than we expected. We know from talking to students that they are feeling tired, stressed, and even bored, but we were surprised by how overwhelming it was. The information contained in the study was found on the Yale News official website. Overall, the problem leads to students' grades noticeably dropping. According to the Fox News, quote, responses indicated that 32% of students nationwide were behind an entire grade level at the end of the 2023-2024 school year. If students are expected to, on average, obtain a 3.0 GPA, then their grades noticeably dropping like this could potentially be detrimental. This information was found on the Fox News official website. When people don't know how they learn, it shows up in not knowing how to study, struggling to complete basic assignments, and ultimately their grades dropping. If the problem is not knowing how to learn, let's next talk about the solution. An action that my audience could take is to find a free online test and take it to find out what type of learner they are. Say you want to take this test to find out what type of learner you are. Here are a few steps. First of all, go online and search what type of learner am I in the form of tests. Secondly, select one of those online tests and then complete the quick quiz. Review the results of the test and using that knowledge, change or adjust how you are currently studying to better fit the type of learner that you actually are. Using new and improved study techniques makes learning more interesting and the learning process more engaging. An example for visual learners would be using flashcards to retain information more quickly. For auditory learners, they might memorize the information better in the form of a song, or if it is spoken to them rather than read themselves. Some people might say it isn't worth the time it takes to know what type of learner you are. However, that is not true. Most online quizzes over the specific material will advise that their tests only take about 5 minutes to complete. And in most cases, it will not take an individual more than 15 minutes to complete one of these quizzes. This information was found on the AON official website. Taking an online test will teach you what type of learner you are. It will only take a few minutes out of your day, and it will improve your grades in the long run. From an actual solution to the problem at hand, we will lastly be looking at benefits to this solution. Lastly, if my audience takes the time to know how they as individuals learn, they will see an improvement in their grades and retainment of information and material. By learning what type of learner you are, you will see major improvements in your learning experience as an individual. This could be in your grades improving. It could also just be in changing your general perspective or thoughts on wanting to learn. If you don't take the time to know what type of learner you are, it could cause problems in your learning experience. This is seen in not making the grades you want, and generally speaking, it could lead to you not appreciating your learning experience for what it potentially could be. The opportunity to both make the grades you want and appreciate your education all hang in the balance of whether or not you know what type of learner you are. Again, the purpose of this speech was to actuate my audience to learn for themselves what type of learner they are. Again, the problem directly affecting my audience is not understanding how they best learn. An action my audience should take is to find a free online test to find out what type of learner they are. If my audience takes the time to know how they learn as individuals, then they will see improvements in their grades and retainment of information. I challenge everyone in my audience today to find out what type of learner you are. You can simply go online now and take a quick 5-minute quiz. There is a huge difference in people's ability when they know how they learn. Even if you don't think much of your capability, you never know. You might even be the next Albert Einstein.